The Halo Infinite Graphics Manager has talked about this demo, and we're going to talk about him. Now, you might look at this and say, wow, that forehead looks like plastic. Those swords look like swords that came out of a Dollar Tree that are like pushed in, like they're made of flimsy plastic. And a lot of people have disliked the fact that a lot of the enemies don't have shadows, that the lighting in general looks worse than Halo 3, that the weapons look worse than Halo 3, you know, all of that. Well, 343 kind of said it's an early build. That was the PR defense. So let's take it from the graphics manager, all right? Before the PR. Before the PR. July 23rd. The world premiere for Halo Infinite's campaign has arrived. It's the first detailed look at how our campaign will play, and while we're happy with how it's shaping up, there's still a lot to do. This is just a glimpse of what next-gen gaming looks like. It's more of like what end of life cycle Xbox 360, early Xbox One gaming looks like, to be fair. The Master Chief is back in action, ready to help save humanity. And it took a minute to more. Well, easy to get carried away about the prospect of playing Halo Infinite. It's worth taking a minute to think about the enormous work put in this playable version, playable preview of Halo Infinite. Now realize this game comes out in a few months. There isn't like 6 months to 12 months. There's a few months. Games are basically done by now. While this is a section of the final game, it took a Herculean effort to make sure this little corner of our ring world was polished and pretty enough for its premiere. This is better than what the rest of the game looks like. This is the best they have. This is the best they have. And in fact, anyone who's used to watching E3, things like that, demos end up looking better than the final game because they specifically tailor them to look as best as possible. They did slow pans over the horizon to show me things that look worse than a 360. Art, lighting, design, environment, graphics, production, engineering teams involved in carving out and curating this little slice are nervous and excited to show people a glimpse of what they're building. Now mind you, this is before people actually saw it. This was written before people saw it. So this is before the PR teams were out and saying, don't be excited, it's just early. Okay. There's a lot to digest in a sneak peek, from gameplay to gunplay to physics to audio and much, much more. But today we're going to talk about the graphics specifically. It's almost like they wanted the focus to be on the graphics since this came out right before the trailer. The engine, art, and technology. So there's the guy. And it's basically him just talking about his job. Yeah, the rest is just an interview. Can you point out something you worked on in the demo? The Xbox Series X, our new platform, along with a slip space engine, gives us tremendous graphical power. Did you see that graphical power, guys? Did you see the graphical power? My team and I work closely with the content creators to get a degree of polish and detail. When you see the realistic characters, the beautiful landscapes around you, and shafts of light through the... This dude's high. This isn't what you showed us. This was before the demo. While working on the demo, still they have all the time. This to make it so clear. Everyone's their heart, everything they have. I mean, honestly, it seems like the game's just not ready. It seems like the game needs more months to look good. Like, it's being pushed out for a console release, and it's not showing any power of the console. Kind of sad. Your favorite aspect? I'm sure right now it's not being involved in the demo at all. When you grab the Warthog for the first time, you're driving through the campaign, seeing the rich and lush, evocative landscapes harking back to the old Halo experience in a way that's simply magical. Hold up. Let me find it. The Warthog segment, guys. Alright, so this is where they're doing that slow pan a little bit. Ooh, look at how late Xbox 360 this looks. Ooh, look at that. It almost, look at that little shaft of light. Isn't that next gen? And now we ruined the demo by running. And now we're in a Warthog, so let's see, are these lush, exciting environments? Because this looks worse than a bunch of current gen games. Is that it? The bats? Is that the exciting part? What are you looking forward to? So sorry to see the hard work we've been doing all this time. Everyone just... Oh my god. I can't wait for the world we've been working on. It'll be so cathartic for everyone to see the hard work we've been doing all this time. That's kind of sad. I want to give Halo fans a chance to come back to that feeling, a feeling they've been waiting for. I mean, a lot of people think back to the Xbox 360 days very lovingly, but not really due to the graphics. It's more the gameplay, the part that was abandoned. Once the Xbox game showcase is over, we'd have to hunker down and get the whole of this massive game out the door. You've got a few months, man, and what you've shown with all of your best effort and what you thought was the best foot forward was bad. I'm waiting for the day to get the game and console for myself so I can play and experience it with my son. That has more detail painted on it than the guns in the trailer. Let me see if I can get that up. I want to get that up. Holy shit, that's actually ass. Starting to get a little pissed off. I think this dude is just screwing with people at this point. Honestly. Look. How do you get so far up your own ass that you don't realize that this picture, directly compared to what you're putting forth here, with this matte blank texture, looks bad? How do you not get that specifically pinpointing the exact moment you love about the demo, and it's one of the moments that was the most disappointing, does not make you look out of touch? Honestly, I think the game will be fine. I think the game will be playable. I don't think it's a system seller. I mean, will it be better than Halo 5? I mean, a lot of people just didn't play Halo 5, so sure. It's in Game Pass, so it'll have more players just due to Game Pass, right? Like, that's a thing. But any of this graphics being great should not have ever been put forward. They're mediocre. For whatever reason, I honestly think they needed more time for the game, and they didn't get it from Microsoft to have a game out for console release. But they knew what it looked like with this point. Either they're in a huge echo chamber and really had no idea, or this is just all lying. And here's just some more for that, and there's some recent spotlights. But I think it's worth remembering, like, this interview should be... I'll post it in the description. I'll also post a link to it. I believe I can post this full interview. For anyone who wants to read it. Some people I know have, like, they watch videos at work, and their work blocks certain links that are game related, but YouTube isn't blocked, so I'll put the text down there for you. But when you have things like this months before release and it looks bad, that just, I don't know. It feels like they were too focused. They were pretty focused on the graphics being good, and they actually thought they were good. I don't think they were lying here. Personally, I think they actually thought this was going to excite people with the graphics, and I don't know if they've played any games since our last Halo.